there will be multiple ideas. You are executing all of it. You are failing a lot of times, right? Pushing you throughout to learn so many things.
It was not available like today, which is available.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
It was not a structured information which was not available, right?
What is the current appetite of the CISOs, not in terms of cybersecurity, but in terms of identity security?
And many of the new generation CISOs, they are very smart.
Okay.
They understand what is the priority and how things has to be structured.
How are you trying to mature your customers? Namaste, everyone, and welcome to the very first video podcast from the WHYNOTIAM community. This is your host Ravi, and this is a huge milestone for us. What started as a small idea in the WhatsApp group has now grown into the India's fastest growing IAM community and an identity security movement. If you are tuning in, please show your support, like, share, and subscribe, and be a part of this journey as we bring the identity world closer to you. And what better way to kick things off than with a true trailblazer? Our guest today is none other than Vikas Jha, the CEO and founder of Cymmetri, a company that's not just building another IAM solution, but redefining the game with a complete identity security platform designed for the modern enterprise. Vikas is on a mission to make identity security smarter, scalable, and sovereign. From access governance to orchestration, from compliance to contextual security, Symmetry is solving the big identity problems that enterprises are facing today, all from right here in India. And under his leadership, it's proving that India can lead the future of identity tech, not just follow it. In this episode, we explore his journey, the highs, the challenges, the vision, and what it takes to build a platform that competes with global giants while staying deeply rooted in innovation and purpose. So let's make history together, hit play and get inspired, and join us as we kick off this new chapter of Why Not IAM with the one and only Vikas Jha, CEO and founder of Cymmetri.
Welcome to India's first identity podcast. Why not IAM?
Hey, hi Vikas, how are you?
Hey, hi Ravi, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. And thank you very much for taking out time talking to us. And it's been great to have you on the Why Not IAM podcast. And this is the first time we are doing a video podcast. So really looking forward for an interesting conversation with you.
Yeah, great. I hope it will be successful.
Absolutely. I would really want to go back many years ago, and I would like to understand about your early life. What was your upbringing life? What were some of your interests? So if you can quickly give us introduction, walk us through your childhood and your upbringing in general.
So as you know, I come from Bihar. So my pre-schooling happened in the Bihar, and my dad used to work in Mumbai. So he asked us that, let's all of you guys shift to Mumbai. So I actually came to Mumbai when I was in board of SSC board, you can say, where I studied 10th, 12th and, graduation and all that. So yeah, I will say that, my upbringing, my education was good, because we come from a middle class family, right? So we have the only one choices, right? That you have to study and get success. We don't have any third or second choice we have. And as I come from Bihar, so we have, of course, second choice to go in the government. Okay. So that's, but I also struggle. I also tried couple of exams, but yeah, it was not my interest, you can say. And after that, when I was in SSC, you can say, in a 10th board, my interest to computer was, really started building the interest to the computer, you can say, and that time the computer was something which, very few people used to have the computer in the house, right? And it was like if you remember that word, it was like in that time, it was more like a black and white monitor, and then you had the MTNL dialing link where if someone calls on the number, you will not able to use the internet.
Okay.
So that's really the interest started from there. And after that, when I was in 12th, and then I did for the, I went for a normal, graduation education. And that's really created my interest at that time. And I started studying from the books, because I was not practically in some sort of say that engineering or something, but it's more
Okay.
like that my interest towards the computer made me learn from the books.
Okay.
And practically, I studied many books at that time, and if I will tell you, I used to teach the engineering student of the networks, OSI layers and all that,
Okay.
at that time. So that's what my interest, and that's what I started my interest and career, because see, the Venu doesn't come from I will say the big college engineering background. You have to start from a very low level or from a very basic level. So I decided that best way to learn the computers, best way to learn the coding, best way to learn the network, education is the best mechanism. So I started teaching, in a lot of institutes. You name the institute, I taught there, either
Okay.
as a visiting faculty or either some subject, and that's really taught me many things. I learned the coding there. I learned .NET. Because Microsoft was something, it's to work on that platform, because .NET was recently launched.
Okay.
NT 4.0, the first networking, connected networks of the Windows started from that time. So yeah, I learned from the, educating the student and learn from them. I taught them, and I went for a couple of certification on that time. After teaching around, I think 2 year, 1.5 2 year, I decided to move to a corporate.
Okay.
That I thought now I have something to offer to the corporate.
Okay.
So yeah, and as a teaching background, you know everything, because you are teaching and you understand everything. But it's a very important that where you want to go, because you know coding, administration, Microsoft technology, Java, .NET, many things But practically in the corporate world, you will count as a fresher only.
Yes.
Because you don't have a real life, experience. So I started my career with in a small company as a network engineer, sort you can say. From there, I really lot of networking concept, and that experience taught me that what the network is, how network works, how the big enterprise connect with the two offices, and how the feeding system in the broking system, how it works. These are because it's all the nanoseconds of the tracking mechanism, right? And so I joined as a Lotus Notes developer, by the way. I'm not sure if you know this
Lotus Note
Note.
is a very old
Yes,
exchange.
it's the best technology
Yeah.
to work on, So I joined as a Lotus Notes developer and administrator, so because I was having both background, right? So I joined as a Lotus Notes developer and administrator. I work couple of projects, and then my interest to open source started in that that time, because I saw a lot of projects were available, and the source code was available. So my interest started from there. Then I started learning the Python, Perl, and all that, and and then I work in one of the IT company as a you can say as a project manager or project coordinator. Where I used to manage the projects for the development, for networking, and from administrations both. Yeah, I was more like a technical, and I work many big companies with that IT company. But I thought, let me now understand the core of the corporates, because IT is something not the core of the corporates, right? Because you understand the technology, you work with them, but I thought, let me join some corporate, to understand how they works. Then I joined my first corporate is ILFS Invest Smart. As their open source practice. And practice lead, you can say, for that time. I joined as a practice engineer actually, and then they moved me to a practice head. 2004, we wrote our own mailing solution to migrate from Lotus Notes. And that's the benefit I got, because I was already having the Lotus Notes experience, and I already learned the open source other technology. So we wrote our own mailing solution to migrate, and we saved a lot of cost. We did good projects there. We did at least we migrated more than 6-7 technology from a proprietary to open source.
But why open source? Like, coming back to your overall interest, right, in open source. I know you have given me a timeline of a lot of companies that you have worked on. How did this transition, or what made you get more interested into open source? Because if I look from a developer's perspective, right, unless until you have that, what do you say, that Kurafati developer, right, you'll stick to the general and simply code, right? I mean, you will be more interested in developing, building apps, but open source is like you go a little bit behind, break, and then you start again from the beginning, right? You already have a lot
Right.
of templates in, and then again, as individuals, right, we do have multiple trigger points. So I'll definitely come to this is the first trigger point where you got introduced to open source, right?
Yes.
And now when you said you're working in this IT as a developer, as a PM, what was that overall duration here?
Okay, so as a project manager, so in this company, which I told you, one of the broking house, right? I worked there around 3 years. Okay,
Okay.
that company got acquired, and then
Mhm.
I moved there. Then I joined one of the HSBC group company
Mhm.
as an enterprise architect,
Okay.
to lead the team.
I just wanted to understand. So as you said, right, like you knew a lot of tools from networking to development to multiple suite of things, right? And then you went
Uh,
to managing an enterprise as an architect.
yes,
So, I mean, especially in India, that time I know there were very less YouTube channel or maybe no YouTube channel, right?
yes,
To
yes.
kind of help you grow as individual in the IT world, which you have now. So, how were you getting the right guidance, the right mentorship here? Was there someone who was guiding you, or is what it was just innately coming naturally from you that you just have to go and learn, and then you had a specific aim in mind? Like, I just wanted to understand like, what is pushing you, because if I talk to a lot of people at that time, because even I worked with a lot of friends, they had a clear roadmap that you get into one team, let's say a storage team or a Windows team, you stay there for 25 years, get into the managerial role, and you're done, right? But I mean, now I'm trying to relate maybe how Symmetry was formed, because this is not a normal IT guy trying to do the job and one day it the company started. It is someone who is constantly trying to push himself to grow, and as a part of which there will be multiple ideas. You are executing all of it. You are failing a lot of times, right? So I
Yeah.
want to understand what was pushing you throughout to learn so many things.
See, I'm the guy, no, I have a problem, I can't do the same repeating things every day.
Okay.
I can't do that,
Mhm.
that's really very difficult for me.
Mhm.
That's the one thing, right? And second thing is that even everything is working fine, but, I have that, Kira, you will say that I will find something that, this is not working, let's fix this.
Mhm.
Okay, that's the second thing, and the third, see, it's not like that information was not available that time.
Mhm.
This is the era of 2005. I will say from that onward, it's not like that information was not available. But yes, it was not available like today, which is available, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It was not a structured information which was not available, right?
Mm.
Today you have so many YouTube channels, right? Today you have so many chat GPT. Of course,
Mhm.
it was not there, right? But
Yeah.
it's not like the information was not there.
Mm.
uh, that time we used to use SourceForge, which was the one of the open source. Like today, you have the Git repository, right? That time
Mm.
the SourceForge was there. A lot of open source project was hosted there.
Okay.
Yeah, and the Google, right? And the most important thing is the books, right? I always
Mm.
feel that if you really want to learn technology, you have to read the books.
Mm.
Okay, books will give you the real knowledge inside of the technology.
Okay.
Okay, because what happens, when you are listening someone, right?
Mm.
Basically, they are giving you their knowledge.
Mm.
Okay,
Translated
whatever,
version.
yes, whatever he
Mm.
or she is telling you, you are
Mm.
learning that, right?
Mm.
But there are the many things which books will teach you, right? Because see, when someone writes the book, it's not the 1 day or 6 month or 7 month
Yes.
journey, right? It's the whole life. The one writer who writes the book, practically, that person or that writer took 6, 7, 8 year, 10 year, 12 year of his career to write the books.
Mm.
Any
Yes.
technology books if you'll read, right? It's not
Yes.
like that, today I wake up and I decided I want to write the books.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and it's not like a chat GPT, Google or bar that goes write a subject and write the book. It's not like
Mm.
that, right?
Mm. Mm.
So book is the best way to learn the technology. And
Mm.
after that, you go and read all these, broadcast and all, or whatever, YouTube and all. That's what my motivation was, of course, very simple, that I want to learn the new things and I
Mm.
don't want to do the same things daily.
Okay.
Once I set up, working fine, it's in the production, let's move to something new.
Okay.
And we used to pitch a lot of idea to our bosses, like one day we went and we pitched to our boss that why you are using Active Directory, replace it, okay, with the open source. And he said, yeah, that looks good idea, why not we should do this. And we did the POC for all the branches.
Okay.
We migrated all around 1500 desktops from AD to open source LDAP.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a vice versa, right? Because boss has to be guts to take the risk.
Yes.
Okay, and and of course you should also give the confidence. So that's how I all started, right? It's nothing like that. I did something very great, but yeah, it's like a journey and interest.
Okay. No, this is, I mean, that's where I think, because I had to ask these questions because it's not like a straightforward path that everyone has been following, and it's not a natural thing, right? So now, coming back to the interesting part, it's been how many years did you work in the IT as an
Almost
employee?
around 9 years, or 8 years, 8 to 9
right?
years
8
I
to
worked.
9 years.
Yeah.
And this was back around till 2011.
Yes,
I think you have
2011.
worked, right? So I know even at that era, we had very less entrepreneurs, right? Maybe hardly any product companies that was flourishing here in India. Yes, there were many out there in the West. So considering all of this, right, I want to understand your thought process. I just want to get inside your brain and understand what was the first thought, because this is risky. There is no guarantee that what you're doing will work, right? You definitely do not have a maybe a group of customers willing to just buy your product or your services. Nothing was there, right? So what was that first thought, and at what was the trigger point when you got the thought of maybe I think I should stop now and start a journey? Because the reason why I'm asking this question is you said that you have been doing really good in HSBC, right? With a lot of open source, and you're constantly pushing your limits. Constantly, your senior staff were supportive. You're growing. So even though, why did you get this thought, and what was that trigger point to start something of your own?
Okay, so see, first of all, let me tell you this way, I love to work with corporates, so that's really not the story, that a lot of people tell me that you got frustrated with the corporate. No, boss, I love to work with corporates, because they teach you a lot.
Yes.
Okay, they teach you technology, they teach you the processes. So it's not like that because of frustration I left. My bosses was good. They were supporting. By the way, when I was leaving the company, he told me that you be here. Okay. So starting with this, what I thought now, the technology I learned, right, like open source, coding, administration, networking, Windows, Linux, I learned a lot of things, right? So I thought, why not to use my knowledge, to build something, and where, see, all was supportive, right? But there is always limitation in the corporates, because we have to go through the processes. You can't just go and blindly implement anything.
Yes.
It's not like that, right? Everything has a very checks and balances in the corporates. You need the approval, you need the money, because tomorrow you will leave, who will support the technology?
Yes.
Right? That's one of the very worry for the all enterprise, right? When they use the open source. So I decided that let me leave this organization, okay, start something with whatever I have learned till now. Okay. So the first thing came in the mind that open source is something which is my bread and butter. I learn a lot. I enjoy working on that technology. And we decided that, okay, let's start working on that and build something on that platform.
Okay.
And that was an interesting, thought which came in my mind. The things were not easy because, that time open source technology adoption was very low.
Yeah.
Because BFSI was really not ready to accept that open source technology. And today in India, the most paid, not I will say the paid, but most invested companies or enterprises who invest on the technology is the BFSI.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, because they want to protect their resources. They want to use the best of the world technology. Okay, they don't want to take any risk and all that. Yeah, because that's the business, right? Because they run the business on the technology. So of course, I thought on that lines, and I started open source as a practice. So UNOTech, when we started, the first services we were offering as an open source service, to all the customers in the BFSI manufacturing and all that. And that's why the journey started. It's nothing, kicked me that, okay, tomorrow I should start something. It's just I thought, whatever I have learned it, let me utilize and let me on and give the community, back on that. This was the more thought from that perspective.
Okay. So here, when you're starting up the company, definitely from a technical background, like what was the overall duration of starting this up? Were you doing this while you were on job, and the day everything got set up, you switched over, or you left everything and then you started, and there was a gap where maybe there could be a 3-6 months gap where you're still building it and you had no salary, something like that? Can you elaborate that story also?
So first of all, I believe that you can't put your legs on the two boards. Okay, you can't do that. Okay, working in some company, running the organization is not possible, because then you are not doing the serious business.
Yes.
Okay, so I left in 2011. I left actually December 2010. You can say this. Okay, I left, and the journey was, as I told you, it's very difficult.
Okay.
Almost 1 year, no salary.
Okay.
Nothing. And believe me, my salary was not that great because that time it was not that great salary, offered by companies. Like today, the scenario is very different, right? So I was not having a lot of saving also. Let me tell you very frank. But I took the risk, and 1 year, no salary, no project. As in India, when we are starting something, trusting the people on you is very difficult.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's not wrong, right? Because if someone is some corporate, I'm not talking about some startup or some small company, any enterprise, why they will trust you?
Yes.
Okay, and because you have just started, they don't know how serious you are. Okay. So 1 year it was a very struggle. One of my friend who gave me the first project. Okay, to develop it for that is a remittance project. Okay, so that's what our journey started from there. Very small project. We started from that. We started hiring the people for him. So that took around. Of course, there was no, you can say, the profit from that project. It was more like we have to keep engaged, right? Because what happens in a startup, you don't have anything, and you don't have the business. You can think idea for how many days, how many years.
Yes.
Okay, you can't keep thinking the idea. Okay, you need the buyer to buy your idea.
Yes.
Okay, if you don't have the buyer to buy your idea, means you will not sustain. So we thought, chalo, let's take one project, and at least we will get busy with that. And from that onwards, our journey started with the first project. Then second customer, we got one of the stock exchange. They gave us one project to migrate their one of the proprietary product to open source. Okay. And from that, there the journey started, and we were very focused that this not something which we will do for long term, because open source is good, services is good, but we wanted to productize something. Okay, so that was always in our mind. Okay. So that's what the journey started from there. We got the first customer, second customer, and then we started getting.
Where was all of this set up? In Mumbai, you had an office. And and then how many employees were there first time?
First time, so see, if you'll, that's always, whenever I go for that area, it's we started from a very, you can say it's a chawl system. Okay. We took one, it's a 1+1, SOP type of, you can say. Okay. It's like almost 100 square feet, something like that. Okay. It's in Andheri Sahar Road.
Okay.
Okay. And we started from there with the 2 employee, one myself and one of my friend. Okay. Of course, he was not from technology, more from helping. And I told him, yeah, you come and, it's very difficult to sit alone, yeah. You can't,
Great.
open the office and sitting alone, no one is there.
Mm.
Okay. So I told him, you come and, sit with me, join with me. It's more like not the join, but more like you come and, work with me only.
Yeah.
So that's how the journey started. So we were a 2 employee. Then we did many things in the Unotech also, right? So we did training, many things. So that I will cover it
Okay.
later in the podcast.
And
But yeah,
another thing is when you because a lot of the time there is always this balance that you have to do for entrepreneurs, right? Where you look for new things and also deliver what has you have already got, right? Now, initially when you said you had 2 employees, or initially you were alone and then you had 2 employees, and you got the first project, definitely looking for new projects did not stop. So how were you balancing both of the things? Because you had to deliver, at the same time you had to look for opportunities, and you cannot be like, okay, I'll just spend 5% and delivery 95, because that effort will definitely reflect, right? If you're just spending small time, you definitely will not get new customers. So can you, and this is more for our audience who are trying to, who are an entrepreneur or who will are aspiring to be one, right? How do you balance the delivery and as well as the pre-sales when you are in a very initial stage?
so see, first of all, let me tell you, right? As an entrepreneur and you are coming from a technology background, it doesn't mean that you have to sit and you have to start writing the code. Okay, you don't need to do this because you will not able to grow. You can do it. You can do the coding. It then means you should start the coding, right? So I did the first thing. Of course, I was involved in every stage. In the designing. But I never. Started sitting and doing the development. No, I hired
Not
the
even
people.
in the initial phases.
No. I never.
Okay,
I never wanted to do this. Okay, because see the development or it's very something that when you sit, you sit. Okay, then you want to finish the task.
Yes.
Okay, and when you are in that zone, you can't think the innovation for the company because this you have to deliver. So I was very clear from the first day.
Okay.
That I will never get into a day-to-day coding. From the first day, I was very clear.
Okay.
But when it will require, I will go, I will help, I will sit with the 1 people, 2 people, whatever team I was having. I will sit with the customer, I will design it. If the customer need, I will sit at the customer premise. I will develop 1 or 2 days, but I will never do the day-to-day coding. I was very clear from the first day. So we were having a team. I used to sit with the team. I used to help them to design it. I used to help them to give the idea. You should do this. When they used to stuck, I used to help them, but never got into a day-to-day coding when I started the this company. And that really helped me a lot.
So then how were you managing getting new customers? Because this is the core part, right? Because definitely whatever was your template back then and you have continuously build on top of it, that's some of which you may be using it now, or you already have a team doing it, right? But those initial stages, what were some of the templates? Like definitely friends and connections could be your first reach, but apart from that, like were you using some lead generation, or you were directly reaching out to a lot of random people? So how was that journey? Because I know that is where your main challenge was, right?
See, as coming from a technology background, right? Getting a leads is one of the biggest problem with all the technology entrepreneur finds. Okay, because you don't have a connection in the market.
Yes.
You are working with the very few people. You don't know the people. You don't know the sales ecosystem. So that struggle we were always having, right? So whatever business we got, initially we got through the references. And what we did, we hired few of the consultants at that time also. We hired few of the consultants. We worked with them. So many of the leads we got from there. So since 2011 to till now, our closure ratio is more than 90%.
Okay.
So whenever customer see our product, whenever customer see our solution, and when they compare with the other competitors, they always feel we are one of the best from them.
Okay.
And that journey started from 2011 till now.
Okay.
So the things which I learn in my corporates that, build, design, support, we are following for the customers.
Okay.
And that's really helped us a lot. We have the customer who is working with us for the last 10 years, 9 years.
Okay.
We have not lost them.
That's really great. Yeah. So now going back to the actual entrepreneur journey with UNOTech. So you started and you had few customers and you started growing, right? So this was more of just a service base, providing development services, or like now I'm really trying to understand the transition to identity. I know you had said that you had built some identity product using Sun, right? So I mean, here in UNOTech, how was that transition? Where was that point where you transition into open source and then moved into identity products?
So see, in open source also now we are having 4 services, right? One was the consulting, one was the support, L3 and L2 supports, and then our services was the identity. And coming to the open source background, we always used to love that concept, right? That get the source code, change it, customize it, and build it. So identity was always our interest, and since first day we were offering this as a solution. Okay. Because building a product is very difficult. In India at least is very difficult to build a product. And we wanted something from the scratch because we don't wanted to copy paste. Today a lot of product does that. We don't wanted to do that. So that time only we started building our capability on identity. And we implemented many solutions, So we used to work with many open source projects. We used to work with one of the open source project. I can't say the name because we don't work with them, right? One of the project was Fourth Rock, Fourth Rock, we have really opened it, their source code, which was available in the open source. And later they change it. Later they, change the whole concept of the open source. They change it. Now they are not in open source. That's the reason I am taking their name. Okay, we learn a lot from them, So we learn how they work. We learn how the architect is, and we understood that how they inspired by the Sun identity. Okay. So that is something really we use them. Couple of the places we deployed as the open source solutions. We applied another identity to many places. So we used to implement as a solution, right? We were not implement as a product. So customer used to tell us, okay, this is my problem. Can you help us? Yeah, why not? We will help you. And solution as in like you used to build in-house products for them and then deploy that in the customer spaces? Or? So open source, like, it's a license, it's open source license, open right? Source, so we don't, we can't charge them the licensing, right? So it's open source where customer can just deploy and use it. Okay, and we used to customize for them. Okay, customize maintenance. Yes, customize maintenance L3, L1 because source code is available, right? So we used to support them the L1, L2, L3. Later we partnered with few OEM also. Okay. And we started selling their products. So that also we did. So identity was always our interest, always our interest. But yeah, we were never thought that we will build our own solution because we always knew that it's not easy to build a product in India. And how long did you do this entire consulting services with UNOTech? Yeah, it's a long, it's almost 9 years. 9 years we did this very aggressive, services business. Okay. And then again, the interesting bit and the the hot topic for the podcast is like, how did this team of people, right, building open source solutions for customers finally decided to build their own product? Like, what was that point? What was that thought process? Because you have been continuously saying it's really difficult, right? You have seen that, you have gone through that journey. But then what made you finally step up and say, okay, now I think it's enough. We really need to build our own product. So this journey is also very interesting, So what happens, one day my team, we were really discussing. I was really angry with my team. Ki boss, we should do something on this. So one of my team members said that why not we should build our own.
Hmm.
So I listened that. I told him, yeah, it's a good idea. Where is the money?
Hmm.
Because we are surviving, itself to making little bit profit, and how we will build this.
Hmm.
So no, we should build this. So we took a call, we said, "ठीक है, चलो, let's build something small."
Which was this year?
It was 2018.
2018. Okay.
No,
I
2018,
think
right?
2020 is when you launched the product, right?
Yes. So 2018, we built very a small version of this product, which is a single sign-on.
Okay.
Okay, we said, okay, this is the easy topic to do.
Hmm.
So we built very a small solution, single sign-on with one of the database. And we said, okay, let's show to few of our existing customers.
Hmm.
What is their feedback? Because now we were having a customer base, right? So we thought, let's showcase to customer. Let's understand, what they feel about this.
Hmm.
A customer liked it, So one of my customer, they were having around 20,000 users.
Okay.
They said, yeah, it's a good thing. Why not to implement this?
Hmm.
We said, sir, it's a MVP, But he said, oh, implement it. We will see this, how it works. So that's what we got the first customer, single sign-on customer. It was not the IGA or identity governance, it was more like a single sign-on with no multi-factor.
Okay.
Okay. It was just the user will log in and they will log in with all the application without password. No, it should not ask that's it. So from that, the journey started.
Okay.
So 2018, and we worked with that customer. We built a lot of feature with that system. We understood their problem, and there also we were using one of the open source, paid open source. So he said, "Yeah, we have thrown them, So we told them that you remove it, we will build everything for you." It was not IG again; it's a single sign-on solution, right? So we migrated, and but we did not took more. Then one more stock exchange gave us the order that why not you implement this for us also. So two customer we were having in 18 and 19, I will say.
Okay.
But yeah, our team got excited. Let's build something from scratch. Because customer is asking a lot of features. Today identity systems are really struggling with the different concept which customer is asking today. Okay. So 2019, I will say, we thought, okay, let's find the investor. And 18-19 was the era where investor concept was already there, right? Yeah, it was, I will not say the boom, but more like, okay, the fund was available, right? And we started going in the market, and we got one investor, and we raised 2 million from him.
So one thing here, as we have seen the boom here in investment world, right? But that boom was more on
consumer side of the business.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I was about to come right now. Here you're talking about a technology which sits with only few customers because they have few problem. Even if there are many customers, even now they have problem. They even do not have the visibility of the attacks and the security risk that they are sitting in, right? So that is on the consumer, on the customer side. Then you have the investor side who are more interested in kind of growing their funds, right? So how did you tie that up? Because going to them and then starting a product company on identity, definitely you can relate to cybersecurity. But like, what was that whole pitch? If you can just give us a little bit insights around what was that pitch focused on, because what will the person gain? I mean, how do you show the growth and those kind of thing, right?
See, Ravi, thing is that we never wanted to build the IGA platform. Let me tell you this. Okay. Today also our vision is not build the IGA platform. Okay. IGA is a very small part of our game, right? We always wanted to protect the identity. Okay. That's what our vision. And today also we are into that journey. We want to protect identity. Let's talk about any identity. Talk about consumer, your employees, offshore, whatever identities talk about. So when you are going digitally, right, we want to protect our identities. that's our vision and that our mission, whatever you say in the English. Yeah, that's I don't come from a very management background, so I don't know that word. But yeah, our vision is that okay, let user or any human, non-human, travel to the digital world without risk.
Okay.
That's our platform concept is.
Okay.
And to do that, whatever we have to build, we are building it.
Hmm.
Okay, so
Okay.
my target is to protect at least half a population of India.
Hmm.
That's
Okay.
my target.
Hmm.
I don't want to sell as a IGA. Okay, come, I will give you provisioning, deprovisioning. That's okay.
Okay.
That is the by default feature comes, right. It's very simple, right. When you buy the house, right, you want that at least washroom should be there in your house, right.
Yes.
You
Yes.
want kitchen should be there in the house.
Yes. Yeah.
You want gate should be there in the house.
Hmm.
You never go and buy the house and when you ask your builder, but do you have the bathroom in the house?
Yeah.
Okay, do you have the gates in the house? Do you have the window in the house? You feel is the default, right?
Default. Yes. Yeah. Agreed.
But what you ask that, okay, tell me one thing, where is the building? Is the building is secure? Because when your family go out, when your kids is playing outside, okay, is the safe area? You ask all these questions, right?
Yeah.
What is the amenities you are going to offer? Okay, you never ask the basic things, right? Today also amenity is a very straightforward, right? Today you know that basic swimming pool, gym is there.
There. Yes.
You know, almost all the new societies, right? So you always ask this type of question, right? If someone, let's say, offering you everything, but that house is built into some area where some type of goons are always coming near to your building, right? You never want to buy that house, right?
Yeah.
We will say, okay, boss, I don't want to get into that. So when we started building Cymmetri, we always wanted to build the identity platform. We never wanted to build the IGA single sign-on. That's the default feature we are giving it.
Okay.
And that we will keep improving it. But our vision is to protect your digital identities across the platform. Either you are humans or non-humans.
Okay.
This is
And what is your goal there? Like, how
as
are
I
you
told-
doing it now?
So one is that, of course, first we wanted to protect these identities through corporate. That's the first thing which we want to do. Because where we can protect the user, their transactions in a corporate itself. That's the first thing, right? And that's the reason, if you'll see, we are working with the many enterprises. So then we are protecting them on the external world. If you are using a banking application, if you are on the internet banking, mobile banking, that is the second area which we are working on. Already we got the few customer on that. Third, slowly, I think the first time I am sharing with you only. Okay, we are also building to protect consumers directly on my platform.
Okay.
Even if you are not the corporate, let's say some corporate are not using my platform, but still you can use my Cymmetri as an individual and you can protect your digital identity.
Okay. That is like, again, B2C.
B2C, but we are so because we feel that that's something we will give the user to feel safe. Okay, it's not the password vault or it's not something like that. It's a very different concept. We are building, we are working on that. Okay, so we have the different modules, and on top of that we have a platform.
Okay.
So the concept is very different from today's whatever the platform which is available in the industry. Maybe when you will see the platform, it will look like that. Okay, it's so similar feature is there which all the product has. But underground, everything has built from the scratch. No open source product we have used inside that.
Okay. Okay. Now, going back to this, I just want to go a little bit back. But again, thank you very much for walking us through all your journey, right? It's been interesting, and I hope the audience is also enjoying. the entire conversation. So we just I just skipped and we moved into the overall product. But I wanted to understand this time between 2018 till let's say 2021, 22, because one of the thing I also wanted to add here is first is your product development. You had few customers, and then 2020 is when uh, I would like to understand the story of when you launched, and then you have the COVID era, right? And almost everything's shut. I would say the hard hit. I mean, it you can feel it as a recession where there is no customer interaction, no new opportunities, right? In
Yes.
general, right? So that is the time I want to understand what went in building it, where you continuously building the product in that time, you are looking for customer, or how difficult that was because you had nothing, right? Let's say Symmetry did not exist. From there, maybe you would have put that into a drawing board. From there, into a customer's base, you are building something. And then when I got to know about the product, probably around 2023, I mean, I was surprised, right? Looking at the product, and I was like, I know, recall talking to Gaurav, and the idea that he said was, okay, there are a lot of gaps in different product companies that I so we thought of building our own to cover all of this. And I mean, that was the time when I got to know about Symmetry, and I was amazed. So I just want to understand this journey, 2018 till 2022, somewhere around that.
Let me put it this way. It was a vardhan for us. Let me tell you.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
because you are not having a customer. Okay, no new customers. Okay, all the existing customer we used to support, and that was stable because you are not having a lot of calls. And just we raised the funding.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, in 2019, in 20 January, we raised the fund.
Okay.
Okay, so it was like a opportunity for us. The whole team was fully focused.
Okay.
And we used to work from home, right? Because no offices, nothing, right? And no nothing. There was no work there for us, right? Because there was no new implementation was going on. Everything was, all okay. What is working? Let's work. Let's not do anything new.
Yeah. Yeah.
That 1 year we utilized a lot. Our team used to work 12 hours, 16 hours to build this product. The 1 year we really worked without looking Saturday, Sunday, day, night, nothing.
What was the strength?
That time strength was around 12 people.
12 people and different skill sets.
Different skill sets.
Right,
and of course, we were having existing knowledge, right? We were already working with many open source technology, IAM, proprietary products and all that, right? So we were already having quite good experience in that, right? So building something was not very difficult for us. The concept we have used is very different from a traditional IGA, IAM product which is available in the market.
Okay, SSO was already there.
Yes.
Now IGA was added.
Yes. So we launched the IGA with platform. First, we launched the platform because we wanted to launch the platform. So we launched the platform, and on the platform we launched the module called IGA. So in 2020, in 21 January, the first module was there in the market.
Okay. Now going back to your customer journey, right? Because when you build this 2021, the platform SSO and IGA, I know you really have a good customer base, right? Compared to many products who have recently started. I mean, again, I have to give all the credits to you, your team, right? But here I really want to understand some of the interesting customer acquisition stories, if you can share us without naming it, because in India, again, the maturity of customers is not up to a certain level where your product and the customer are at the same journey, right? So what was that converting some of the biggest government companies also, right? Or even banks that we have seen with Symmetry. So I would really want you, again, this could be a masterclass of few minute of masterclass on what was your journey and how people can learn to kind of go and negotiate, or it could be any skill, right?
So in India, this is my personal experience. Okay, in India, if you really want to do a product business, okay, there's a couple of things you have to know. This is my experience. Many people will have a very different experience. Services, anyone will give you the service because it's transferable, right? Product is not transferable.
Yeah.
Something they implement and they have to really sustain for the a period of time, right? The one thing is that you should say what you can do. Okay. If you know your domain, you should explain you know your domain to the customer. First of all, that's the first thing, right? I will not go into the pricing war because that's the known, and it's not a bad, right? We are a country where we have so many talents are available, right? Why we should pay extra? That's I always believe, right? Whatever you say that okay, we don't pay. Yeah, why we'll pay? I have people have the money and people pay and people get the work, right? So I don't get into that war, right? So of course, price is one of the area which is there, but it's always fair ask. I believe that if I am in the country where we have the 140 crore, right? Where every second house has an engineer. Okay, then why I should pay more? Anything can be built. So that we are very clear, right? That we will struggle with this concept. So you have to be very clear on your pricing. Third thing is that you have to compete with the global player. Okay. So whatever the money you are charging to the customer or whatever the customer will give you, but customer will expect that your product has to be the global level maturity. Okay. It doesn't mean that they are paying you the small amount of money or lower money compared to the Western world means they will accept anything. No, it's not the case. They want world class product. That's the Indian CISOs and CIO are. They don't compromise on the quality. Okay. They will need the world class product. Okay, which they can compare with all the MNCs. All the global players, I will say this way. They need the best code. And they need that you can sustain in this world. Okay. Second thing is that the pricing, which is of course, it's a very important factor. And third thing is the world-class feature set which they will compare you. I say platform, but customers say, boss, platform chodo. Tell me one thing, this is one global player, this is your feature, you match or not? Okay. But after deploying it, when I say, okay, sir, why not you use this also? Achha, you have this feature also, kya? You can use it. Like we launched one of the feature 360-degree recon, which customer did not thought also that it could be the scenario. Today, every customer who is using my solution after 6 months, 8 months down the line, the 360-degree is the feature which is the one of the favorite feature for them. Okay. So we'll talk something sometime later what the 360 is all about. But yeah, that's how the Indian customer wants. And I just wanted, again, this was more from like what were your challenges and how you are able to get through the Indian market. Can you explain the Indian customers' mindset maybe in 2-3 points? I know one, you definitely said that they look for quality product, but is there any persona that you can share it with our audience? Like these are the 3 characteristics you see. If you are able to crack this checklist, definitely there are chances. Because there is a lot of misconception that when you were talking to me even about the quality, right? There is a misconception that maybe the Indian consumers are like, okay, you give me a less price, but we are okay and we can compromise on the quality. So this is one of the misconception that we have. And you just cleared that now, right? So we would like to know more. I work with many BFSI, many big manufacturing companies. I work with defense. Okay. Let me tell you, Indian customers has a very clear mindset. Okay. And I met with many CISOs, CIOs, right? Not only to the junior people, right? Some concept, some technology, some feature is always ambiguous, right? Even we also don't know. Some feature when we build, we also don't know the feature we had built is really what customer want. Sometimes it happens. But when it's go on the customer side, they have different requirement. But it's not the customer mistake, it's our mistake. Because we have not thought about the customer and we have built the feature. Yeah. Customer problem is genuine problem. Right. I don't know about the services. I have done the services also with the customer and I have enjoyed working with them. I have worked with many banks. I work with many NBFC, many companies, many enterprise. I enjoy working with them. See, you should know what you are selling. That's what I'm saying, right? The very simple concept. You have to know what you are selling. If you will tell them, I can offer you moon, sun, everything under the earth, boss, that's you can't. And once you said you can, they will take you left and right. Then you can't say that you will not deliver. You understand, right? The concept is that if I'm telling you, Ravi, or let's take example, right? Let's see, this is the normal broadcast, right? Podcast, okay. If you'll tell me, Vikas, you join my podcast, and I have a 3D concept. Okay, because you will realize, you will feel is the 3D, right? You will feel you are talking to me in the same studio. Example I'm giving you, right? And when I come to the podcast, and I'm talking like this, then what will happen?
Definitely, yeah, you'll have expectations, right?
Yeah. So I will have the expectation, right? So while selling, when you are building the expectation, and when you will not give, of course, is going to be the classes.
Okay.
So that's the concept. And yeah. See, the pricing is, as I told you, right? The country where every second home is an engineer. You don't expect that you will get prices in the dollars and euros. Right, where companies think that they can build the identity for their enterprise in the 6 months.
So the first is definitely having a clear mindset. Like Indian consumers have clear mindset. They have complete clarity about what is the problem, what they need, and definitely at a certain budget, which I don't see that also as a problem, because every CISO or every leaders, whether in India or any country, has a certain budget, an approved budget, right? No one comes saying that, okay, I have a bag full of money, you do whatever. That is not the case. Everything is process driven, everything. So these are the three important takeaways. Now, I know you have worked with a lot of senior leadership, right? CISOs, CTOs, and CEOs. So I also want to understand what is the current appetite of the CISOs, not in terms of cybersecurity, but in terms of identity security, because from a maturity perspective, we are maturing gradually as a country, right? Cybersecurity awareness is really great, thanks to a lot of forums and a lot of events that is happening across from many years, right? But identity, again, one of the statement is CIOs, CTOs are very much focused on, let's say, pen testing or SOC and all, but not too clear on the identity side. So is this a myth, or is this actually a fact?
It's a fact, actually. I will say this, okay? Because see, what is happening today, everyone it's not their mistake also, right? Because there is so many people giving their so many knowledge, right? What is wrong, what is right, it's very difficult for them also to filter, but they are filtering it. They have also learned over a period of time. They are understanding what the cybersecurity is, how it works, and what all the products. So they also understand. See, why the identity security, I feel, is still, it's not in, I will say it's coming in their head, but not on top of their head, right?
Okay.
Because still many of the technology heads feels that they are using Active Directory. Okay. They are using different bits and pieces of solutions, and practically it's a not an area where attackers attack. They feel more like, okay, ransomware. They feel more like, okay, this is the vulnerabilities. But the CISO and the CIOs all now they are understanding slowly. And many of the new generation CISOs, they are very smart. They understand what is the priority and how things has to be structured. If really your identity is not protected, identity security is not on the top, or is not protected, whatever the mechanism you implement anti-ransomware, you implement XDR, EDR, whatever VAPT you do, if your identity is not protected, anytime your identity can be compromised.
Yes.
today more than 70% attack. This is not I am saying. Is the lot of research reports talks
Yes,
about
yeah.
that. 70% attacks are identity based.
Hmm.
It's just that right time and the right people.
Yeah.
Whenever we are meeting, we are convincing them.
Hmm. Yes, yeah.
So that's how the things are today.
And again, thank you very much for answering the consumer side, the mindset of how the current CISOs are thinking. Now, as you have been talking about how Symmetry is more from a is more of an offering in identity protection, right? So, how are you maturing your customer? Because I still talk to a lot of product owners, and I feel the product features that has been released, right? And the actual implementation that is on the ground, I see a gap over there. Here is where you have the customers still struggling to kind of onboard a legacy application, right? And even now not being able to adopt the best MFA possible. And then we have products which is, let's say, decentralized identities or ITDR or identity proofing, right? So there is so much of gap. Eventually, the customer has to implement it. So, what is your vision in terms of how are you trying to mature your customers, like one by one, to adopt all of this? As you said in one of the statement, right? You want almost half of the population in India to be protected, and that will only happen if the consumer as well as organizations mature together.
See, the organization has the limitations, right? Because they cannot migrate the apps in the one day.
Mm-hmm.
So what we are doing it, or what we have done it actually, for many of the customers, we had implemented it. Even you have a native application, old application, we have built the mechanism to integrate with Cymmetri. Okay. And once you integrate it with the Cymmetri, my platform will take care of that.
Okay.
But yes, the first stage is to connect that application. And that's already we are giving the training, we are giving the knowledge sharing, we are doing a lot of events. We are going in a lot of events. We are planning to do some of the road shows. Okay, for Cymmetri. Do whatever we can do, we will do that. It's not something new, right? They also understand. But sometimes it's important that we should give them the clarity that how things are happening in the world. Because they have so many things on the plate. Let me tell you, see, CISO has a very small team, right? Sometimes I really feel that boss, they have the very small team, and there is so many things are on their shoulder.
Yes. Yeah.
How they will do? They have to take the help from other team members. That's what they're doing it. But in terms of today, practically, if you'll ask me the ratio, right? I had met almost more than 70% CISOs and 80% CISO, I will say, they understand this very well.
Okay.
It's just that maybe they have the other things in the priority, or either they want to take it this a step ahead for some different year or next quarter or whatever their timelines would be. So I think from that perspective, yeah, that's what it is.
Okay. And is there a certain roadmap that you have for Symmetry? Like currently, I know you mentioned about SSO and IGA, right? And you also have some components of PAM. So what are some of the features? Can you give us a quick walkthrough of what can Symmetry do, possibly their capabilities?
So as I told you, right, Cymmetri has a module. One is that IGA, single sign-on, okay, which is workforce identity management, right? So we say that any identity join the organization can be managed by the Cymmetri.
Okay.
Talk about your human or non-human both, right? When they leave the organization, can be managed by Cymmetri.
Okay.
When they are transferred in the organization, can manage by Cymmetri.
Okay.
When the role changes, can manage by Cymmetri. Whenever the new application onboarded in the organization, can manage by Cymmetri. To talk about native application, can manage by Cymmetri.
Okay.
So when the Cymmetri comes, anything happens with the identity, Cymmetri will take care of that. That's the one part of the story.
Okay.
Second is which is basically the IGA, right?
IGA.
Access review, segregation of duty. I don't want to get into that type
The
of the
entire
feature.
life cycle management.
Yes.
You are managing through IGA. Yeah.
Yes. And of course, on that we have the machine learning and all that. That all we are doing it, which everyone does. Nothing great, but yeah, we are doing in a different way. Then single sign-on, single portal. You log in into the system. You have the adaptive multi-factor. It's not a normal multi-factor. It's the risk-based multi-factor authentication we provide.
Okay.
That's the second thing. We have the consumer identity.
Okay.
Where your consumers. Let's say you are a bank. And you have the customers on the mobile banking and internet banking. They can use Cymmetri to protect that identity of that.
Okay.
On the consumer identity. Then we have the privilege access management. The very basic module we have. We don't have the advanced module. Very basic module we have. So the customer who want to go with the Converge platform, they can use our system.
Okay.
The new things what we are building is something is the ITDR. Which is the identity threat detection and response. We are working on that on the ITDR part, and that's something we are almost ready. Maybe we will launch in the few quarters.
Okay.
But again, that also we have taken a very different approach.
And again, one thing that I have seen you, right, or throughout the discussion I've observed is you really have a vision in whatever you do, right? So, and you have a great way of identifying what could be the future problem, right? So you did that with while you are working at Unitech as well as in Cymmetri. So what do you see, and can you name few things that could be the future of identity security in India, globally, everywhere?
Okay. So I feel that three areas I think that is going to be change for the identity. One is that I feel IGA is going to be the commodity in the next few years.
Okay.
There is going to be
elaborate, a little bit more.
Yeah. So basically, see the IGA, the community. What I mean to say that either every company will have some sort of the IGA. Okay. Or there will be so many players in the IGA field that they can buy from anyone. Okay, that's what I mean by the community. Okay, it's going to be the community. It's like a damn cheap module will be available for you in the IGA because this problem is already solved. Right? Nothing great we are doing it. Any products you take it. Okay, whatever. I am also not doing great in IGA. Whatever problem has solved, has solved. The future which I am seeing it, right? Personal from my experience and whatever we are building it. Real-time identity changes detection that is going to be the very, very important. What I mean by that, if anything which is changing respective to the identity, your not only the access, your behavior pattern, your the way you did use the systems, the way you access the system, your responses. Connecting with the HRMS behavior, HR ecosystems. Okay, that all is going to be play the important role in the identity.
The behavioral analytics, right?
Yes. It is the advanced version of the ITDR. Yes, it could be the advanced version of the ITDR, but it's the more from a just like a basic version, which today a lot of products are available in the ITDR. Not number of products, but yeah, whatever products is available, they are the very basics in the ITDR.
Yeah.
So threat detection, respective to the identity, is something which I feel could be the future.
Okay.
Second, non-human is going to be the biggest problem for everyone in the industry. Because everyone is focusing on the AI, everyone is focusing on the bot. But how you will do the authentication, right? That's going to be the big challenge where industry will face. So non-human is something I feel that's the second thing. Third, decentralized identity.
Okay.
So yeah, these are the three areas I feel which will be the very, very important for the identity. And I feel whoever will work on this, they will run the show.
Okay, great. So now another thing that comes to my mind is when we talk about all of these upcoming future, right? Definitely managing them, building them, and implementing them will have a good amount of cost, right? And solving the problem. So, do you see that as a challenge here in India, or You're
Lot,
like,
lot, lot. See, you have benefit and you have a challenge both, right?
mm,
You have an advantage that you get the engineer.
mm,
Okay, you can build the product easily.
mm,
But challenge is the getting the investment, right?
mm,
Second thing is that, and it's a fact of life.
yeah.
If you are from a product company from India, okay,
Mhm,
and if you are trying to sell this product into other countries,
mhm.
you face a lot of challenges.
That is, yes. Yeah.
We have solved so many use cases for our BFSI customer
Mhm.
that today even lot of global companies can't think to solve,
Okay.
and that's
That's
what
amazing. Yeah.
yeah, and a lot of global BFSI is struggling to solve the problem.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, that's the case. I mean, I think with the new policy and new government,
Mm.
things will change slowly, slowly. Already started changing, but yeah, it will get solved.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that's always a challenge.
That's
Raising the
good.
investment for the B2B company in India is a crazy, boss. It's a crazy.
Mm.
It's really crazy.
Definitely, the future looks positive. And then again, with the Why Not IAM community, my one of the goal also starting this year is to connect with a lot of CISOs, talk to them, invite them in our meetups, right? In the events where they get an opportunity to talk to identity owners, identity products, identity vendors, and they get an exclusive group of identity professionals or practitioners, right, where they can now discuss this problem closely. And even product companies like Cymmetri and others get an opportunity to discuss it. So that is also one of my goal primarily with the community,
Yeah, it's a
not
good
just
idea. It's a good
solve,
idea.
because solving problem on the resource or engineering level is one part, but imagine a world where um, the community is doing so well that a lot of Indian engineers or global engineers, right, have gone to a very good level of maturity.
Yes,
But there is
yes.
no problem to solve because no one is buying the product, right? So there has to be a balance on both the side. So we are trying our best, and definitely the future uh, is competitive. The future is filled with challenges, but it's good to see like people, leaders like you, trying to build a company out here in India and trying to serve the global market. Definitely serving the Indian companies and then trying to scale up. So with that, I would really want to thank you again. If you have any closing remarks, because I would really want to
No, thanks,
listen.
Ravi. And yeah, closing remarks. What we are a Make in India company, and of course, we want to go global.
Mhm,
That's what our vision is. But yeah, we need the help from all our existing customers and investors to fund us to go global. Yeah,
mhm.
that's what. Thank you,
Okay, then
and
thank you
best
very
of
much.
luck for your podcast also.
Thank you very much. And I really look forward to meeting your team. I know we have
So
planned some product sessions. So we'll talk more about Symmetry for our
yes,
audience so
yes,
that they can know and they can. I think currently you have a 14 days free trial if anyone logs in. So I'll put
yes,
the
yes, yes.
details of how they can log in, they can try the product. And I wish that you soon get some global presence.
Yeah, yeah, and my team will be full passionate about to explaining the product.
Mhm,
They
absolutely.
will talk more than me about this product
Absolutely.
because
Absolutely.
they had put their nights to build this product.
Yes, absolutely. So with that, we can wrap up. And thank you very
Yes,
much. I
thanks
look
a lot,
forward to
Ravi.
talking with you.
Okay, see
Thank
you.
you. Bye.